Hey everybody, tonight I'm taking a road trip. I'm heading down, or up depending on your point of view, to Torrance Barrens Reserve, which is a provincial reserve in southern Ontario. So this is the Torrance Barrens Conservation and Dark Sky Reserve. It was founded in 1999, and according to the sign, you are standing in the world's first permanently designated dark sky reserve. The lucky combination of minimal light intrusion, hard granite surface, accessibility, and virtual 360-degree viewing makes this a remarkable place in Canada to view the heavens with the naked eye, binoculars, or the help of a telescope. And apparently a fantastic place for camping, because there are a ton of people camping here with tiki torches, grills, but also a ton of people just enjoying the night sky. And the sky tonight looks beautiful, but it's hard to tell just by looking at how clear it actually is. And the conditions tonight hopefully are going to stay this way. All right, I did it. I drove the 2.5 hours up to Torrance Barrens. Torrance Barrens, that is. These are the Barrens of Torrance, a dark sky reserve, conservation reserve in Ontario, Canada. We are a couple of hours north of the city of Toronto in what is the Muskoka region, cottage country. And as the sign said, this reserve was established in 1999, where at that point in time, this was a very dark sky site. Now, I think since then, light pollution has intruded even on here, which is unfortunate. Also, this place is frequented by a lot of people. I got here a few hours ago, and the parking lot was packed. Now, it's a small parking lot, but there are several lots accessible, just side of the road, shoulder parking with some signage. And this whole area is crisscrossed with hiking trails. So during the day, a lot of people were hiking and coming off the trails as the evening came on. And now as it's getting darker, a lot of people showed up to view the sunset, and it looks like a lot more are coming in with lawn chairs to view the night sky, which is kind of exciting to see. So far, I'm the only one with a telescope, And I've taken up this huge flat area here because no one else is sitting here. I'm not on the lake. I'm not on the path. I'm out here as a test of all of my equipment, is basically what this is about. And also because it seemed like kind of a cool idea. So this is my first time completely disconnected. Everything that I've got plugged in here I had to carry with me and power throughout the night. I've never tried this power box before, at least not to power everything here. And I've got it powering a laptop, a camera, a cooled camera, and the scope itself. That's a lot of power usage. So I'm going to have to use every trick I've learned so far about setting up a scope on a wedge. And what that is pointing to geographic north. So I've got the Celestron sign here pointing north according to the compass on my phone. I've kind of leveled the scope. I'm not too worried about leveling it. I don't care how level it is right now because the alignment is going to compensate. It's nice to have the scope level initially. I can see it's a little bit leaning to one side, and I should adjust these since I've got them set for my pier in the backyard, which is off from north. So I'll adjust these back towards the center. And basically the plan is this. I'm going to launch CPWI and I'm going to perform an alignment. I'm going to find a star that is facing almost directly at the south meridian. And what that should let me do is to adjust my scope. It's at this point that I met the first of many awesome people. Melissa and Zach stopped by and we're looking for some help with their new scope. So what I'm going to do is set up CPWI to basically point at a star that is along the meridian. And then I'm going to adjust the scope mount so that it is centered around that area. I've got my dinner here for later and some toilet paper and coffee. So it's around 10:30. I have my scope set up. I managed to do a very quick alignment, and I've dialed in using drift alignment on pretty good alignment. My scope is tracking really well, and I'm doing a quick focus aid right now. Honestly, I thought I might be the only person out here with the idea of seeing, but there are a lot of people around stargazing. But I've got my Nikon snapping away, taking wide-angle shots. I have my scope dialing in on focus, and then I'm going to be taking photos of the Veil Nebula. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, it is 2:17 in the morning. This has been a really interesting evening. I gotta say, I had a lot of fun. Big crowd came right after the sunset, so there was a crowd here to hit the trails. Once that crowd cleared, there was another crowd coming out to see the sunset. And then a bigger crowd started to form after the sun went down to take a peek at the stars. And those people would leave, other people would come. And I think at the high point, this little hilltop there, that there was no one on when I first set up, was very crowded. There were a lot of people all taking photos of the night sky, some with telescopes, some with cell phones, getting some images, all having a pretty good time. Kind of excited to see the night sky. So it was a lot of fun to meet everybody. Some people interested in the scope, some of the binoculars, just chatting about astrophotography, astronomy, about this place. which I'd never been before, but I read a little bit of the sign when the sun was still up, so I was able to convey some information. Anyway, good time, I think. It is 3 a.m. Most people have gone home. There are a few people left. A few who came pretty late just showed up, realized that the sky was very cloudy, and unfortunately had to turn back. And I do hear one person snoring off in the distance, who could have easily been me. So my power bank started beeping. I think I ended up getting about 5 hours worth of power out of it before that was it. So I unplugged my laptop, meaning my laptop is now powering my camera off of its own battery. And the only thing that my power bank is powering is the scope. So that's good to know. I can only get about 5 hours worth of time out of the power bank. And I guess I can squeeze another 30 to 40 minutes out of everything with my laptop battery afterwards. So that is not going to last me all night, but at least I know what the limits are. So I've switched over. I have put the diffuser on my scope, and I am taking the flats using the Urban Paper Protector Diffuser Mask Astrophotography tool, UPPDMAT. There it is. Diffuser sitting on the scope. I'm using my Celestron 70 by 15 by 30, 35? 30, so 15 to 35 by 70, so 70 millimeter zoom 15 or 35 to look at Jupiter and its moons, and it's very cool. So I got my binoculars mounted on my camera tripod. Hi, it's after 4 a.m. It's actually, what time is it? It's almost 5, and the sun is coming up. And the sky is cleared for about an hour and a half between 3:45 and, no, it was an hour and a half, maybe an hour, maybe 45 minutes. And during those 45 minutes, had some great views of Jupiter, Saturn, and the Pleiades cluster, which I managed to view through my binoculars since my power bank had died and I had shut down my scope. So, Raheem, sorry, buddy. You guys missed the planets. They came out in the early morning, just in time for the skies to clear. So I'm going to start packing up, and I'm going to call it a morning. I've thrown everything into the back of the van. The sky is a mix of puffy clouds and ominous clouds, but it's time for me to go. Hey everybody, I'm back home. I had a chance to get a little bit of sleep, caught up from last night. I just transferred over all my files, and let's quickly do some processing. Yeah, it was a great meeting everybody last night. Thanks to everybody who stopped by to chat. So here I'm processing all of the data that was taken last night at the Torrance Barrens. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring everything into DeepSkyStacker, and I'll analyze the data in DeepSkyStacker in order to be able to pick what to keep and what to get rid of. That process took about 2.5 to 3 minutes, and here are the resulting files. So I've got my calibration frames down here, and then up here are the photos. Let's just remove anything that is below the 400s. So I'm going to right click on these, and I do want to get rid of them from disk so they're not wasting space. This is what I was able to capture before of this nebula. So that is what we're trying to improve on. So what I want to do before I reprocess this image, though, I want to run the same sequence, but using my stock flats. Okay, so same thing here, stack checked pictures. So this is now going to do stacking using standard flats. And we'll compare the output of both of these using a same type of stretch in Siril, which is a processing tool. Okay, so difference here, this looks much brighter. So here regular frames seem to do better, but you can see this gradient, right? You've got the vignetting around the edges, and then you've got this gradient towards the center. Now let's look at the two images. So this is new frames, old frames. New frames, old frames. So here we've got this brightness right in the center. So this looks pretty good, but then we lose portions on either side. Whereas here we have this uniformity to the nebula. So let's apply a contrast curve now. So here we've got an overexposed, oversaturated image right in the center. And here we have a much more uniform nebula. I should have done this from the beginning. Let's just stretch out the whole signal across the board. Now let's stretch it up by 2 markers. So we're going from here to here. So what this does is it's going to take my whole signal and it's going to kind of expand it out. And then same thing. Oh, that was on this side. Now doing that with the original flats. Yeah, it's way oversaturated, but I just wanted to see if it would capture any additional signal on either end. I'm surprised by this. I'm very surprised. This means that this new way of doing flats gives you a more uniform image in processing. I like this better than this. So this is standard flats. This is new flats. Cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reprocess this image. This time I'm going to do a bit more stretching in Siril to get a couple of different points. And then I'm going to bring those back into GIMP. I'm going to extract my stars. I'm going to play with the nebula without the stars so that the stars don't seem as bloated, recombine everything, and then post the final processed image. And thanks for watching. Clear skies.